Approval for a new medical building on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, March 30th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. Centerville Gardens 2 LLC wants to construct a 9,000 square foot building for office and dental use in the Highway Business Zoning District. The construction is planned near the intersection of Route 28 and Waquaket Lane in Centerville. The vote almost didn't happen this week due to late filing of some paperwork.
Mr. Lawler, given that we got information extremely late and I have not had speaking for myself, I've not had time to even look at it because I was on the road today, I would ask that you request a continuance.
With all due respect, and let me give the reason I can't do that. We have a tenant who is prospective to go in there and needs to be in there by September, and we'll lose them. I know this board was given plans on March 8th. I know there were some changes to the plans, but for the past 10 days we've been sitting down, and I've spent hours with Ms. Jenkins and Tom Perry and met with Ruth Weil. There was an issue. There was a disagreement as to interpretation of a legal issue, really, as to what needed to be done. Ultimately, though I disagreed with it, I agreed to in order to go forward so we didn't miss this date, to make the changes with respect to the plan. The only change to the plan that's been made since March 8th is the building's been moved up forward, and one set of parking spaces in forward has been removed and it's been put in the back. So this plan has been before you. This entire project, which is a multi-million-dollar project to build, bringing jobs to the community, very probably will fall apart if we can't hopefully get voted on tonight. And obviously I can't, there may be different questions that you have, but I think if you look and let me make my presentation, I can show you that the changes that were made aren't, though they may look big on the plan, they're very simple.
At the last meeting when we continued this, we came into the meeting knowing it was going to be continued because you didn't have site plan review yet. So many of us didn't take the time to review that then, and have been waiting for the additional information, the site plan and site plan review letter in order to do a complete review of the project. I'll let you go forward. I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to get a vote tonight.
Attorney David Lawler was able to move forward with his presentation, which outlined changes and updates to the project since its first appearance before the Zoning Board of Appeals.
What we intend to do is, if you can see the building there, it's positioned in such a way where we have met with Tom Perry and have met the parking requirements under the bylaw. The big issue that I want to point out is that as a matter of right on this particular property, we could put a curb cut here. I think the board knows that this particular area of Route 28 has issues, all of 28, with traffic. And one of the concerns that growth management has presented, both this time around and when this was presented 5 years ago for the bank and the office building, was traffic. At that time, I was involved and a concession was made, and it was a completely different board. A concession was made that we would access an easement, which we have to pay additional monies for because the abutter believes it would be an overburdening the easement as written, to access Route 28 through the lot, which is presently occupied by CVS. If you see it there, and in doing so, we have been able to keep the entire buffer of vegetation. And when I get to the landscape plan, I'll talk about that briefly. But the parking as set up, also to comply with the bylaw, we have the individual spaces in front and the parking in back, which we initially intend to have employees park in back with members of either the symphony or the dentist office park, or patients to the dentist office park in front. Under the square footage, we intend, because of Title V requirements. Title V requirements allow for water usage for dentists. They don't do it by square feet, they do it by number of dentists. And in this particular situation, we would be seeking to have 3 dentists there, which has been approved and reviewed by the Board of Health, Tom McKeon, as has the septic system. So we would then have the remaining square footage, a little over 3,000 square feet, being dedicated to the office building for the Symphony. The traffic patterns have been likewise approved by site plan review and meet all the requirements by the fire department. I don't have it in front of us, but I can flick to it in a second. It is in your packet. The landscape plan, again, also provides this large 100-foot buffer on 28 with ample coverage to beautify the particular lot. This is especially compared to the abutting lot to the west. The CVS lot has virtually no buffer. The lot to the right is technically developed. There's a structure on it, but it's essentially undeveloped. And, you know, obviously I can't use that as a comparison. It's gravel and weeds. But with respect to the particular use, we meet the parking requirement, we meet the water usage requirement, we meet all the buffer requirements, and for purposes of working with staff and growth management, I have sat down with Ms. Jenkins here on this project for at least a couple of hours, and Tom Perry, the building inspector for the town, going over various options, and we've accepted the recommendations of Tom Perry and Ms. Jenkins. Prior to this, I did have conversations with the head of growth management, Joanne Buntage, and her large concern was that we maintain the easement and access the property through the CVS. If we chose, as a matter of right, we could put a curb cut on 28, go through site plan, and put an office building here. We don't want to do that. We want to have the dentist's office and provide, I think, a valuable service to the residents of the town of Barnstable, in particular Centerville. The proposed tenant would be full-service dentist, but focus quite a bit on children. The Symphony is fairly obvious. You'll have people coming in. There's offices there, and occasionally people coming in to pick up their tickets that aren't mailed to them, or to have meetings about the Symphony. The proposed site is a substantial improvement of what's there. Under the particular plan, if you also look in back, we provide the other 2 lots, which is Lot B and Lot 2A, will be combined to provide the appropriate square footage and acreage so we can have the dentist's office under Title V. That will remain in its present undisturbed state. Also, if you look behind the building and behind the parking, this particular area crosses into a business district, the BA district in front, and a residential in the back. Nothing is being proposed. No drainage, no work at all within the residential district. Nothing. That's remaining the same. We believe that certainly this particular aspect of this project is in keeping with the bylaw, is not detrimental. It meets all the standard requirements for under a special permit. The issue with respect to traffic is a large concession to give up that curb cut. Because in addition to access on 28, if anybody's familiar with the CVS lot, the other portion, anybody who wants to go towards Hyannis or Finney's Lane, go right through the parking lot, right up Strawberry Hill Road, and it's a major concession for us to give up this curb cut.
Despite originally saying a vote was unlikely, and after much discussion, the Zoning Board of Appeals ended up agreeing to take a vote and approve the special permit with conditions. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.